In the ancient times of Kotham-Buddha, there lived a woman of great renown and dazzling beauty named Zamrapali. Her beauty was so extraordinary that golden chariots often parked outside her residence. Even kings of high lineage had to wait their turn to visit her. Despite being a prostitute, she had amassed such wealth that she could acquire entire kingdoms. However, deep within her existence, she carried profound suffering. Beneath that dazzling appearance resided a splendid soul, yearning for love. People called her Nagarwadu, which translated to the wife of the entire city. On a particular day, while she was on the terrace of her residence, she spotted a young Buddhist monk who possessed little more than a begging bowl. However, he radiated a commanding presence, full of awareness and grace. The moment she saw him, she was enchanted by his aura. Zamar approached him and spoke, "Honored monk, please grace us with your presence in my home for a meal." The monk accepted the invitation. After feeding him, Zamar proposed, "In 3 days, the rainy season will begin, and I would like to offer you to stay in my dwelling for 4 months. During the rainy season, Buddhist monks stay in one place for 4 months, whereas in the other 8 months, they are in constant movement, not staying in one place for more than 3 days. The young monk replied, "I will consult my teacher, and with his permission, I will accept your invitation." With these words, he departed. Before reaching the assembly, other monks spotted him and promptly went to Buddha, alerting him, "We need to intervene with the young monk. Zamar has invited him to stay in her house for 4 months, which is not suitable for a monk, especially in the residence of a prostitute." Buddha reassured them, saying, "Maintain your serenity, allow him to approach." The young monk approached, greeted Buddha by touching his feet, and recounted the entire situation. He said, "A woman has invited me to stay in her house for 4 months during the rainy season. During this period, all the monks will be staying somewhere. I will also need accommodation during this time. Therefore, I request your permission to accept the invitation and stay there." Buddha looked directly into the monk's eyes and replied, "You have my permission to go." This surprised all the other monks who were present. Many monks in that place were perplexed to hear that Buddha had consented to a monk staying in the residence of a woman known for her past. All the monks stood up and shared their opinions. "This seems inappropriate. This monk is hiding something. He claims it's a woman, but it's actually Zamrapali." Buddha replied, "She is someone who has had a connection with Gautama Buddha. I am certain of that. Furthermore, the fact that he does not use the term prostitute is what leads me to consent to his going. It seems he respects her." 3 days later, the young monk departed for Zamrapali's house. New rumors spread among the other monks. Buddha intervened, saying, "It is preferable for everyone to remain silent. 4 months will pass, and I trust the decision of my monk." I looked into his eyes and saw no trace of desire. If a monk's meditation is deep, he can influence a person. If meditation is not deep, it is possible that the influence comes from the person. Now, it is about the interaction between meditation and physical attraction. Let us wait for these 4 months. However, the followers still had their concerns. Buddha is showing great confidence. This monk is still very young, and Zamar is extremely seductive. It seems like he is taking unnecessary risks. Eventually, the 4 months passed. After this period, the young monk returned and paid his respects to Buddha. Right behind him was Zamrapali, who also bowed before Buddha. She shared, "I tried various approaches to seduce this young monk, but all were in vain. Instead, he persuaded me with his understanding that true life is about discovering our authentic selves. Now, I am willing to donate all my possessions to the community of his followers." It is said that later, Zamrapali became one of the enlightened nuns among Buddha's followers. When we reflect on our own lives, we realize the importance of dealing with the sexual impulses that arise in the mind. To do this, it is necessary to attenuate sexual desire. Instead of yielding to it, we begin to transform it because often we do not have full control over our minds. That's why many young people turn to masturbation, a natural part of life. However, it is crucial to remember that our energy is linked to our vital semen. By preserving this energy, we can achieve success in various areas of life. Throughout history, many notable personalities have achieved greatness by conserving this vital energy. To preserve it, there is no need to suppress sexual desire but to transform it through meditation and positive thoughts. If you practice meditation regularly and maintain control over your mind, you will be more effective in managing the sexual thoughts that arise. After the young monk's demonstration of compassion and discernment and his transformative influence on Zamrapali, the news quickly spread through the surrounding villages and hamlets. People began to inquire about the power of the mind and how it can transcend worldly desires. The narrative of Zamar and the Buddhist monk resonated in the hearts of the people, leaving a lasting impression. In the following weeks, many spiritual seekers and the curious made pilgrimages to the small village of Kothambudha. Eager to witness Zamar's transformation firsthand and learn about the meditation that had guided the young monk on his journey, they injected new energy into the village. Masters, scholars, and the curious gathered to absorb the words of Zamar and the monk. On a sunny afternoon, the young monk was meditating under an ancient tree when a group of children approached. With eyes full of admiration, they asked, "Monk, how did you find the strength to resist desires? How did you help Zamrapali find her own way?" The monk responded with a gentle smile and invited the children to gather around him. He began a story, as was his practice, to impart essential teachings. Certainly, there was a tranquil stream winding through a dense forest. Its clear waters were home to various creatures, and the canopies of tall trees formed a green canopy above. However, during times of storms, the stream could turn into a vigorous river that threatened to flood the forest. The creatures of the forest, instead of confronting the force of the river, found ways to adapt. Birds migrated to the highest branches of the trees, squirrels sought refuge in their nests, and larger animals moved to higher ground. Rather than resisting the current, they developed ways to go with its flow. Much like these forest creatures, we learn that the longings and thoughts that arise in our minds are like the waters of the stream. They can turn into a strong river, sweeping us away from our inner tranquility. However, instead of fighting these desires, we can learn to observe them without prejudice and allow them to flow. Meditation instructs us to find our own serene corner where we can contemplate these thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. The children listened with great attention, their eyes sparkling with newfound understanding. The monk continued, "Zamrapali also harbored a stream of desires and torments in her mind. When she encountered the tranquility of meditation and mindful presence, she began to realize that she no longer needed to battle the current. She learned to flow with life, discovering her true self and inner peace." The children eagerly absorbed the monk's words, assimilating the story of the stream and the valuable lesson of flowing with life. As time passed, this narrative spread through neighboring villages, inspiring many to explore the power of meditation and self-awareness. Live with more wisdom and purpose. Discover the secrets of Buddhist monks in the ebook The Wealth Through the Eyes of Buddhist Monks. Click on the pinned comment and start your journey of transformation.